Welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Asa Lucas.
And I'm Angel Schwartz. Let's get into our show.
Just hours ago, OSU faculty and students received an email from President Burns Hargis updating us on the current coronavirus procedure. The email said, quote, following spring break on Monday, March 23rd, all in-person classes on our Stillwater and OSU Tulsa campuses will be conducted online for 2 weeks. Faculty members will direct students on how to move forward with their online classes, unquote. Also in the email, President Hargis lets us know that updates will be coming in the following weeks as to whether or not the campus will remain closed. As for the Daily O, this will be our last broadcast until we come back, and we have plans to have our next show on April 6th. Not to mention that all spring break and study abroad programs have been canceled. People are going crazy to prepare themselves for the coronavirus outbreak. Production of cleaning supplies has been ramped up. We have more on that story for you now.
Concern and the demand is much higher now than what it's ever been in the past.
The demand is high and the supply is low, which is why Wisconsin-based Guy & O'Neill is working nonstop to package up wipes and sanitizers.
We are seeing unprecedented demand in the marketplace for disinfectant wipes, household cleaners, hand sanitizing wipes.
Guy & O'Neill is based in Fredonia. They manufacture wet wipes and liquid products. You've seen some of the brands they package for on shelves across the country.
Starting about 10 days ago, that small uptick in demand really surged to anywhere from 3 to 5x normal demand.
3 to 5 times more than their usual production of millions of units a day, now leaving them operating 24 hours a day trying to meet demands.
We're shipping it out the door as fast as we can make it, and there is no possible way for us to meet the surge in demand.
Retail brand Senior Vice President Greg Fries says in his 20 years in the business, he's never seen concern like this before.
I've never seen anything like this before, even going back to SARS in 2004, have not seen this kind of demand. So it's unprecedented, and we're doing our best to react and to make sure we can provide as much supply as possible.
Continuing to work overtime to move shipments and get more packages filled.
Online sales of cleaning supplies and things like masks are also up by over 800%. Now we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back. I had the opportunity to sit down with Joe Harper and talk to him about his plans to run for sheriff. We have more of that story for you now. Father, cowboy, and cop. These are the three words most people would use to describe Joe Harper. who I was able to sit down with and interview this past week due to his campaigning to become the next sheriff of Payne County. Officer Harper has been with the Payne County Sheriff's Department for almost 2 decades, moving up the ranks and even learning how to track criminals. I asked him if he had any unique experiences with tracking.
I remember one of the nights I got called out for a track was a 2-year-old that had wandered away from its house. They called me and said, "Hey, can you start that way?" I said, "Yeah." So I called him while I was getting dressed and just told him, when you get there, double check everything, check under beds and cabinets, everything, that way when I get there, that's one less thing we've got to do. I made it maybe 3 miles from the house and they called me off because the little kid had crawled up into a cabinet area and was sleeping behind some towels and stuff.
I then asked what made him want to run for sheriff.
I've kind of seen the condition that the sheriff's office has got into. I feel like it's kind of, I don't want to say gone downhill, but it's not the same as it was when I started. Some of it's a lot better. Some of it, I think there's a lot of room for improvement. I think a little bit of the old school type of patrolling that we used to do, combined with the new technologies that we have now, I think with the right mix of those, I think we can do a lot better for Payne County.
And what he would try to change if elected.
I'd like to see a different rank structure, get more guys out on the road helping with taking calls. There's 4 guys on one shift, so 4 days out of the week you've only got 2 guys on each side of the county to be able to take calls, and 600 and some square miles is a lot to cover for 2 guys. 2 guys covering the whole county, and I'd like to get some more guys to help combat that a little bit. Get more guys out patrolling in the county, more of the time spent out in the county rather than on the highways and in town.
June 30th, the primaries will be held for Payne County Sheriff, so don't forget to vote. I'm Asa Lucas, representing the Daily O. Go Pokes. We'll keep you updated on Harper's campaign. Well, we're back with another episode of Cut to the Chase, and this week, there's a lot happening. Take it away, Chase.
Hello, I'm Chris Colton. Let's cut to the chase for this week. Or should I say, cut to the coronavirus, because the disease is affecting the globe in many different ways this week. Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune will film episodes from now on without a live audience due to coronavirus. Speaking of coronavirus, the NBA has suspended all games until further notice. Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson both announced that they are diagnosed with coronavirus. They are currently seeking treatment in Australia. 5 Broadway shows have slashed prices to attract audiences in wake of coronavirus. President Donald Trump announced a travel ban for most of Europe. Universities all across the country have opted to switch to online classes for several weeks to avoid more coronavirus cases from spring break travelers. Joe Biden won several states this past Tuesday, putting him in the #1 position for the Democratic primary. And lastly, Sarah Palin was featured on The Masked Singer and rapped "Baby Got Back," and this only means one thing: Tina Fey, get your wig and costume out because you need to book your guest spot on SNL. That's all the news I have for you today. For the Daily O, I'm Chase Colton. Have a good spring break and stay safe. And wash your hands with soap and water.
Thanks, Chase. I can't wait to see your next edition. Coronavirus has been stirring a panic among the world recently. At OSU, with classes being moved strictly to online for 2 weeks after spring break, here's what OSU students and faculty had to say about it.
What I am concerned about is the airports and just traveling in between.
I'm far more concerned for the students. I'm going to be able to handle the impact on me. I think that we should all be grateful that the university is doing what it's doing, just out of an abundance of caution. I don't really know how coronavirus is going to end up personally affecting me. but I think it's probably going to affect some of my students, either directly or
I don't know if they're going to do this or not. This is my just intuition based recommendations coming from the higher powers. Is that they're going to extend, most likely extend this on the classroom. But that's just my intuition. That's not fact. Just what I think.
Make sure you're staying safe and make sure to wash your hands. Now we'll go to commercial, but we'll see you back in a little bit.
Oh, there you go. Superstar.
The end of the practice is when we do all of our, intensity drills.
Okay.
She was going at it.
Stop. If we get them to Detroit by, let's say Monday the 15th. Time's right there. There we go. Yeah. Just, you can't.
Don't want to talk about it.
When you see the water tower, you're gonna make a right.
If we win this, is the one way to get to the playoffs. I know.
Welcome back to the Daily O. Let's get right into sports. The sports world took a hard blow this week, with seasons ending for many. Fans were devastated and players were disappointed knowing that they could have just played their last game ever. Coming off a big win against Iowa State, Oklahoma State basketball players' hearts sunk as they heard of the tournament cancellation. In reaction to this, OSU tweeted thanking the seniors on the team for their hard work on and off the court. On the bright side, the NCAA is looking for ways to give spring athletes who missed out on their season another year of eligibility. This could change a lot of things behind the scenes for sports like baseball, softball, tennis, golf, and track and field. There is no news on how the NCAA is going to handle its winter sports tournaments. Of course, one tournament that falls under this would have been the Wrestling National Championship, which was supposed to be held next week. And I just gotta say, I really hope that they figure something out for these athletes, especially seniors like Nick Piccinini, who have put so much hard work and effort into this season, because they deserve better and so do their fan bases. Taking on even more change, recruiting for all collegiate sports has been suspended until April 15th. Collegiate athletes are not the only ones feeling the blow of these suspensions. The National Basketball Players Association's doomsday provision in the collective bargaining agreement would allow owners to avoid paying a percentage of player salaries in the event of certain scenarios, including natural disasters, war, and epidemics. As of right now, there is no discussion of owners wanting to act on this, but the league just wants to make sure players know this provision exists. The NBA issued a letter to fans thanking them for their support and urging fans to stay safe during this time. The NBA season will remain suspended for at least 30 days per Commissioner Adam Silver. The NFL announced today that they are prohibiting in-person and pre-draft visits with players before the upcoming draft in April, which means that the NFL teams cannot attend any pro days or visit with any prospects until further notice. They are only allowed to communicate via phone or video conference and must report to the league when the instances occur. The NFL draft is potentially in limbo due to the growing public health threat, but for now it is still scheduled for April 23rd through the 25th in Paradise, Nevada. In golf news today, In golf news yesterday, it was announced that the PGA Tour would suspend its season. Today, the Masters tournament will also be postponed with hopes of beginning the tournament sometime down the line. With this cancellation, there will now be no men's pro golf for over a month and potentially longer. The XFL has announced they will cancel the rest of their second season due to the coronavirus. The league plans on looking for ways to play out its postseason so a champion can be crowned. They also announced players can freely sign with NFL teams and the rest of their contracts will be paid out by the league. The XFL says they committed to playing a 2021 season and beyond. Well, it looks like we better find a new Netflix show to binge because it doesn't seem like the sports world is getting back to normal anytime soon. That's it for sports today. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Asa Lucas.
And I'm Angel Schwartz. Let's get you caught up on the weather for this week. So it looks like today there's going to be a high of 47 with a low of 44, and as we've all seen, it's been pretty rainy out there today, and it looks like that's going to go well into next week with Saturday with a high of 54 and a low of 39. Sunday is going to be around the same with a high of 54 with just a little bit higher of a low at 43. Monday it'll at least get back into the 60s, but we're still going to mess around with that rain, which honestly kind of puts a damper on my spring break plans, with a high of 61 and a low of 51. And on Tuesday we've got a high of 64, a low of 54, and then capping it off with Wednesday of a high of 66 and a low of 56.
Well, for me personally, my plans are now going to include Netflix with all of that rain.
Oh, all the way, and cleaning the house and washing my hands.
Well, don't forget, there will not be any Daily O episodes during this extended break from school.
You can watch our social media for more updates on this developing situation.
With all the rough news coming in the past 48 hours, let's end the week with a story that shows that there are still good people out there in the world.
I had an angel come to me this morning at 8:45 and said, "I'm so sorry what happened to you."
We told you the story of Tracy Brown, Girl Scout mom on Capitol Hill selling cookies with her 7-year-old daughters, who was robbed Monday afternoon by a sneak thief who saw her put the money bag in her minivan and had it by the time she noticed.
So I tried to grab him by his dreadlocks, and they slipped out of my hand.
Struggling, she ended up on the pavement, she said, and was hit by the getaway car and minus $1,500 that she had in the money bag. An ABC7 viewer who saw our story called her this morning saying he wanted to help.
When I saw this pop up on my phone as a transfer, I didn't know what I was. I just screamed.
And I said, man, that's terrible.
He would only tell us he was a retired military man, a Mr. Jones in Maryland. So you took care of the whole 1,500?
Yes, I was able to do it, and I'm happy I can. I wish I could do more.
She met the Girl Scout rep at the bank. That person also wanted anonymity.
I immediately wanted to run to the bank and get that money out of my account and give it to the Girl Scouts. This is going to be such a wonderful lesson for my girls. I'm going to teach them that there are really good people in the world.
Stories like that truly are heartwarming. And Angel, what is your favorite type of Girl Scout cookie?
You know what? It's kind of a toss-up between Thin Mints and Tagalongs, but I am a sucker for a good peanut butter and chocolate combo, so it's going to have to be the Tagalongs. They win for me especially.
I like putting my Thin Mints in the freezer and eating them later on.
Ooh, that is a king move right there. Thanks for tuning into our show today. Make sure to keep up with us on social media at @TheDailyO_TV.
You can also watch our show when we come back on Roku, Amazon Fire Stick, Apple TV, and on Suddenlink Channel 112. For The Daily O, I'm Asa Lucas.
And I'm Angel Schwartz. We'll see you when we're back.
Hi, I'm Will Joyce, the Mayor of Stillwater. As Mayor, it's my responsibility to help develop plans for a variety of resident needs, including roads, emergency services, and utilities. Some of those services are paid for with federal money that the government distributes to states and communities based on Census Bureau data. This is your tax money coming back to our community, but if you or your household aren't counted, we lose nearly $1,200 per person to places like Texas, Kansas, and Arkansas. So help bring that money back to local communities by filling out the 2020 census. This year, it's easy to do. You'll receive a postcard in March 2020 with a unique code for your address. Using that code, simply go online, call, or request a paper copy of the census and fill it out. I want to make sure that you and your whole household are counted in the 2020 census. It's important not just to Stillwater, but to all of Payne County.